Hey, what's up guys, it's your boy Trigger. Today we are going to be doing the 1967 Mini Cooper S Rally and 2018 Mini John Cooper Works Buggy. So this is a set that I wasn't super excited to get. It was just another one to fill the collection, but now that I have it in person, I'm a little bit more excited for it than I originally was. Looking at the box, I really love the look of the older Mini Cooper, and of course this newer gen Mini Cooper having that suspension I think is really cool. And these were two cars that you could play with in Forza Horizon 4's Lego DLC expansion, which, you know, is what got me into this whole thing. So of course you got to respect the OGs, and that's why we are here doing it today. It does have a bunch of accessories, as you guys might be able to see. On the back they show people changing tires. It's not really something that I'm too interested in. My last couple of videos, I haven't really been assembling any of the accessories, and definitely not on camera. So I won't be doing that today, just focusing on the cars. This one is 481 pieces, which if you compare that to newer models like the Nissan Skyline, for a double pack, that's pretty low. But of course these are minis, so kind of to be expected. I haven't seen any videos on these. We're going in raw. Let's get started. All right, guys, we have finished up the Mini Cooper. Oh my goodness, this is so funny to me. And I'll tell you why this is so funny to me. I understand that these are not properly matched together, since the Bronco is an 8 wide and this is a 6 wide. This is so funny to me. And I didn't just bring these two together because it's absolutely massive versus absolutely tiny, but also because the Bronco has a very similar situation going on with the spare wheels, and the way that the Mini handled it is a couple of rubber bands with a bracket, and I think that's hilarious. This feels like it more closely resembles a poly bag than a full-fledged Speed Champions car, but I'm really glad to have it. I think this is so funny, and it definitely was not my favorite build. There was a lot about this that just wasn't fun to put together. It was very tedious. Some things felt extremely delicate, and when I put them in place finally, that's when I had a sense of relief of, okay, thank God I can stop touching this tiny little thing. Because it really is tiny. Everything about this is super delicate. It's hilarious. I don't know what else to say. It's really fucking funny to look at. And it seems to me like the Mini Cooper that I'm going to be doing next is going to be kind of in between these two sizes, or at least maybe the next Mini Cooper that I'm about to do, if it was an 8 wide, it would be in between these two, because honestly, nothing is touching the size of this behemoth. I really wasn't expecting to see the rubber bands. I don't know why I didn't expect that, considering they gave me this little box, which, I mean, you would expect it to be holding rubber bands. I for some reason, that slipped my mind. I just kind of went in raw, didn't know exactly what to expect, and this is what I came out with. And it is funny, man. Like I said, nowhere near my favorite build. There were build techniques in here that just felt really awkward, and I wasn't a fan, but the end result is the end result. I can't knock that at all. It's like a clown car, man. I've got so many things that I judge a car based off of: build process, looks, uniqueness, color, the manufacturer. And the biggest thing for this is the fact that it is so unique. It's so tiny. It's weird, man. I can almost cover it with my whole hand, and then with this thing, I don't feel comfortable holding it with one hand. I feel like I'm going to drop something, but yeah, I just don't feel comfortable doing that. I just did it for the sake of the video. Who cares? I do, a lot. There you go. This thing could fit in this car's trunk if it had a trunk. Let's go on to car number 2, and that is the 28 Mini John Cooper Works Buggy with working suspension. Look at that 2018 Mini Coupe, just ready for the dirt and grind, man. It's cool. I really like it. I left the Bronco in the room, so I don't have anything to compare it to, but I really like this. And really quickly, before I move on, making manuals this big, thank God that's in the past, because this was annoying to have on the table. I had this thing open, and I was just like, okay, let me just not touch the table ever again in my life. This is clearly a product of its time. The amount of stickers that this thing required was ridiculous. I've harped on stickers in the past. I don't plan on returning to it. And I feel like I've been pretty good recently about just keeping it to a minimum. You know, bringing up the fact that I dislike stickers and then just leaving it at that. But with this, man, I really was getting exhausted. I tried as hard as I could to not let that affect the way that it came out. And I think that I did a pretty good job of that. You know, if I felt like I did bad on something, I would remove the sticker and replace it. Back in the day, that's not something that I did because I felt like I would then be ruining the sticker. Luckily, I've watched YouTube videos, not specifically on how to remove a sticker and then reapply it, but you know, other Lego YouTubers who have given tips and tricks before, so I've learned how to deal with that pretty well. And I've done that here and there. Some sticker placements I'm looking at, not so great. Some of these lines don't really match up. I don't know how well you guys are going to be able to see that, but yeah, there's some lines that just don't really match up all that well. With the top part, I really tried to make that line up as good as possible so that there was no visible seam. Obviously, I shouldn't say that because of course there's going to be a visible seam, but I didn't want it to be, I wanted it to be as seamless as possible. Lego, it doesn't work that well. It's not the best ever, but I can definitely see why a lot of people were interested in this. This is not the first time that I've worked with suspension, so I don't know if you guys know this. The car does have working suspension, which is awesome. It's not the only car in the Speed Champions catalog that has working suspension. There's also a Ford F-150, which should be the next time that I work with suspension, and I'm excited for that because it's a Ford F-150. But speaking of Ford F-150s, the first time I ever dealt with working suspension was on a Technic Ford F-150. This thing has a lot of dust. I haven't cleaned it or anything, but this was a truck that I did a video on, and it was my first time ever playing around with Technic, seeing if I liked it. And long story short, no, I didn't. But yeah, this has working suspension, so it was really cool to see, you know, the difference between something massive like this and something small like this. It's actually extremely similar. Just rubber bands at work. Let me see if I can, let me remove this. This is the hand of God, as some people like to call it. It rotates the wheels, but that makes it feel more like a toy, so I like to keep that out. Let me see if I can rotate this, maybe get you guys inside. Where are these rubber bands? Oh, am I wrong about that? Is it not rubber bands? I don't believe it is. It's been a long time since I've made this thing. So this isn't rubber bands. This is just applying pressure on some Technic pieces, and that creates... Oh, and it's got some springs on the back. Let me see if I can show you guys that real quick. There are some springs attached to the axle. So yeah, this is working with springs. This is working with rubber bands. Overall, I think this came out really good. I love the two of these. They're just so unique. You know, this is my first Speed Champions car to have suspension. This is just tiny, man. This is a super unique set. I can see why it was popular. It's just so left field. It's really wonky, and I like that a lot. And as I've mentioned previously, I am really interested in cars that aren't just supercars. I love me some supercars, and in fact, in March, that's pretty much all we're going to be getting. We're getting the Pagani Utopia. We're getting the Ferrari Competizione, the McLaren F1, and the new McLaren, which is the Solus. It's crazy. All we're going to be getting is supercars, but I like to have a little bit of a break from that and move towards things that are a little bit crazy. So when like the Urus came out, I really enjoyed that. When the Bronco came out, loved it. The Dragster, it's not a supercar. That's a genre of racing, and it came out phenomenal. So when things like this come out that are just so weird, I tend to gravitate towards that. And I think that these came out incredible. They're fun. They fill up the collection. Would I purchase these if I wasn't a collector? when they were available in stores? Maybe. I don't know. They're cool. Would I have purchased these if I wasn't a collector and they were retired sets? Absolutely not. That'd be ridiculous. But I am a collector. I feel the need to get everything. That is all that I have for you guys. If you enjoyed, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.
Hey, yo, what that rock say?